Okay, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. At heto po pag-usapan natin itong si Senator Tulfo ay nagsalita na nga patungkol dito sa nangyari sa Senate, no, nung nagkaputukan doon sa Senado. So nag-trending po ang post na yan ni Senator Tulfo. At gusto nating malaman kung ang taong bayan ay sang-ayon dito kay Senator Tulfo. Kasi importante na malaman natin ang pulso ng taong bayan kaugnay po dito kay Senator Tulfo kung gusto pa ba siya ng taong bayan, yung mga ginagawa niya sa Senado ay approve ba ng taong bayan. So, in-speculate natin yan, inoobserbahan natin yan through the comments sa post mismo ni Senator Tulfo. Okay, kasi diyan natin diyan natin malalaman na mismo ang mga followers niya sa Facebook o mga subscribers niya sa YouTube, diyan natin malalaman kung itong mga supporters niya ay okay pa ba? Sang-ayon pa ba? Okay? Kasi po, parang nagpalabas po ng views and opinion itong si Senator Tulfo sa nangyari sa Senado at ayon sa mga nabasa ng mga followers niya, syempre nagko-comment lang sa ilalim. So babasahin natin ang mga comments at tayo rin ay magre-react tayo kung nasa hulog pa ba ang itong mga comments ni Senator Tulfo. Okay? Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, tahimik siya eh. 'Di ba? Sa daming mga nangyayari doon sa Senado, kay Bato de la Rosa, yung putukan, yung away ni Robin Padilla at ni Kiko Pangilinan, at sa impeachment trial dito kay VP Sara, tahimik siya eh, parang play safe. Play safe siya. So kung play safe ang isang tao, parang linalaro lang niya. Wala siyang prinsipyo na maipakita sa taong bayan kung ano ang stand niya. 'Di ba? And yan ang importante nating malaman eh. Mamaya mamalalaman natin yan, okay? At sa pangalawang part na topic natin ay papanoorin natin itong interview ni Jimmy Bundok, no? Isa sa mga legal team ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. In-interview po siya ni Karen Davila at atin pong himay-himayin, atin pong unawain ang mga legal na hakbang kung ano ang susunod na gagawin ng kampo ni Senator Bato de la Rosa at alamin po natin kung nasaan ngayon si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Okay? So yun po ang pag-uusapan natin ngayong umaga na ito. Pero bago ang lahat, paki-like at saka paki-share itong ating vlog guys. Importante yan para kakalat ito sa taong bayan. Actually, ang dami ng nakakita dito sa ating mga vlogs. Unti-unti nang dumarami ang nag-subscribe. Kung mapapansin nyo ang mga videos natin kahapon, sobrang laki ng views natin. No? Congratulations sa Donmar TV at sa ating lahat. Okay? Hindi lang po ito opinion ko, kundi opinion nating lahat sa mga nakikinig sa akin araw-araw. Kung pabor kayo sa aking opinion, kung pabor kayo, paborin ako. So meaning to say, we are one sa ipinaglalaban natin. Kaya mahalaga yan. Kung tagumpay ng channel na ito, ay tagumpay rin ng mga audience ko dito sa Donmar TV. So thank you very much guys sa inyong suporta. Okay? At sa mga first time dito nanonood kung hindi nyo pa ako kilala, I am Donmar TV. Subscribe nyo po ako kasi marami kayong matutunan dito at updated kayo. Okay? Okay, so bago natin simulan, gusto ko lang magpapasalamat dito sa mga araw-araw na nag-greet sa atin, no? Ito, si YZ Celilio. Ano to? Izel ba tong pag-pronounce? Izel Luis. Ayan, watching from Toronto, Ontario. Shout out please. Ayan. I hope ma'am I pronounce it well ha. Izel Luis. Ayan. Shout out sa inyo ma'am sa kababayan natin dyan sa Toronto. Ayan. Ano ba to? Di Kasula. Ayan. I hope it pronounce it well ha. Ang hirap ng mga pangalan ninyo eh. Dea Kasula. Ayan. Dea Kasula Kasi. Donmar TV, pakibasa po, watching from Saudi Arabia. Ayan, maraming salamat, ma'am. Edita Beronila. Ayan, hi Sir Donmar, always listening from Spain. Ayan, sa mga kababayan natin sa Spain, hello po sa inyo, Ma'am Edith. Gilda Flores, hello po, watching from Hong Kong. Ayan, ma'am, ingat-ingat po kayo dyan sa Hong Kong, ma'am, no? Thank you, Ma'am Gilda. Meli Palo, ayan, good evening, Donmar TV. I'm watching every day. Watching from Ladispoli, Rome, Italy. God bless the Philippines. Ayan, maraming salamat, Ma'am Meli. No? Ingat-ingat po kayo dyan sa Italy. Joseph Hernandez, always watching from San Pablo City. Ayan, sir, maraming salamat, Sir Joseph. Thank you po. Ingat po kayo dyan, mga taga San Pablo City. Ayan, yung mga banggiita natin dyan sa San Pablo City. Thank you for always tuning in dito sa ating YouTube channel na araw-araw nating nagbibigay ng kasiyahan at update sa ating mundo ng politika. Okay? So, unahin natin itong usapin patungkol po dito kay Raffy Tulfo. Ang kanyang post. Okay? Heto po ang kanyang post. Ayan. Nagko-comment na po itong si Senator Raffy Tulfo sa nangyari nga sa Senado. Painom muna ng tubig kasi nauuhaw yung master ninyo. Ay nako, ang hirap magsalita na wala tayong laway. Pasensya na po. Kasi po, dapat nating malaman ang opinion ni Senator Raffy Tulfo, no? Pahayag ni Senator Raffy Tulfo ukol sa insidente sa Senado. Okay? Alam naman natin kung ano nangyari sa Senado, gulo, no? Nagputukan, nag-away diyan sa bagong change of leadership, no? Sabi niya, nakakalungkot na maraming mahahalagang panukalang batas ang nakahanda na para sa sponsorship, ngunit patuloy na nadidelay dahil sa kaguluhan sa Senado. Alam mo, Tulfo, pagsabihan mo yung kapatid mo, yung mga kasama ninyo sa minority, kasi kayo yung nanggugulo eh. Sabihin mo kay Soto at ni Ping Lacson, sila yung nanggugulo. Tapos ngayon, may ugong-ugong na balita na gusto nyong palitan na naman si Peter Cayetano. Di ba? Kasi ako, naniniwala rin ako dito kay Raffy Tulfo eh. Naniniwala ako sa kanya na rin ito eh. Nangarap rin itong maging presidente. Paniwala ko yan ha, paniwala ko yan. Dati, hinahangaan ko naman ito si Tulfo nung tutulong siya sa mga problema sa mga kabit-kabit ng mga pamilya. Yung mga small time na problema, no, na masusolusyonan niya. Na-appreciate natin yan. Pero when it comes to yung public na office na mga problema, yung mga tawag dyan, yung pagiging senador niya, parang hindi tayo sang-ayon sa mga galaw nitong taong to eh. No? I don't know kung how many, ilan na ba ang mga batas na ipinasa nitong si Raffy Tulfo na basic na nakakatulong sa ating mamamayan, no? Pero what I mean is, I hate talaga yung mga politiko na walang stand. Okay? Especially on the impeachment of VP Sara. Yung tahimik ka lang na parang play safe ka. Di ko gusto ganyan. Kasi parang pumagitna ka eh. Di ba? Kasi para gusto mong makabig lahat yung mga pagdating ng election, at least hindi ka yung mga walang alam, iboboto ka. Kasi tahimik naman to, hindi naman to nangingialam eh. Di ba? Play safe ba? So, ayokong ganyan. Walang alam niyo sa totoo lang, heto yung final word ko sa mga tulfo kung ano talaga sila. Sila ay matapang lang sa mga maliliit na tao. Pero ang mga tulfo, hindi nila kaya yung mga ginagawa ng mga Duterte at mga kaalyado ni Duterte na talagang hinaharap at kinakalaban po ang mga oligarchs, yung mga malalaking tao, yung mga tulfo. Ang kaya lang nila mga ordinaryong tao. Hindi nga niya kayang anong tawag diyan, magkomentaryo patungkol kay Martin Romualdez, ni Zaldico, ni BBM sa mga kapalpakan nila itong mga taong to. Hindi niya nga kaya. Never mong narinig si Tulfo na nagko-komentaryo dito sa problema ng flood control corruption natin. Siguro nagko-komentaryo sila in general pero hindi mo maririnig na dapat questionin natin si Martin Romualdez, ganun, ganyan. Kahit hindi mo akusahan, questionin mo lang. Kasi ikaw yung leader, House Speaker ka at that time. Pero ito, walang bayag si Rapi Tulfo. Sa totoo lang. Pasensya na sir, wala kang bayag para sa akin. Magaling ka lang sa mga problema ng pamilya. Astig ka lang. Matapang ka lang sa mga ordinaryong Pilipino. Yan ang katotohanan sa iyo. Sabi pa niya dito, dapat magkaroon ng isang transparent na investigasyon sa mga nangyayari at lumabas ang katotohanan upang bumalik na sa normal ang aming trabaho at magawa namin ang mandatong ipinagkatiwala sa amin ng taong bayan. Dapat raw transparent. Dapat raw. Paano yan? Maging transparent, tahimik ka dyan. Huwag kang magsalita na ganyan. Puro ka post sa social media pero wala ka namang ginagawa sa aktual na action dyan. Sabi nga, Rapi Tulfo in action. Nasaan ang action mo dyan sa Senado? Ay nako, mga tao talaga. Sabi pa niya, gayon pa man, kinikilala ko ang desisyon ng ombudsman na suspindihin ang acting Senate Sergeant at Arms na si Mau Aplaska. Imagine that one. Di ba? Tanga. Gago. Di ba? Sir, Rapi Tulfo, hindi mo kilala si Mau Aplaska? Si Mau Aplaska, Sergeant at Arms yan, isa ka sa mga prinotektahan yan. Tapos sang-ayon ka sa ombudsman na sususpindihin ito? Tanga ka lang? 'Di ba? Sarili nilang mga tauhan diyan sa loob ng Senado, papayag ka na suspindihin ito sa ombudsman? Si Aplaska pa ngayon ang may kasalanan? Ginagawa lang ni Mau Aplaska ang kanyang trabaho diyan sa Senado para protektahan kayong lahat. Tapos ngayon, maririnig ito ni Aplaska, sang-ayon ka sa ombudsman na ipasuspinde? Wow! Grabe! Na umaming siya ang unang nagpaputok ng baril noong gabi ng May 13. Kung may reason naman bakit siya nagpapaputok doon ng una, katanggap-tanggap naman yun kasi ang iniisip ni Aplaska yung seguridad ninyo dyan, di ba? Sa kabila ng presensya ng mga empleyado ng Senado at media personnel sa pasilidad ng maaaring napahamak, sa kabilang banda nararapat ding mapanagot ang NBI asset na gumanti at nagpaputok rin patungo naman sa miyembro ng mga USAA. So, ipinakita niya dito, hindi rin siya sang-ayon sa NBI. Okay? Dapat raw suspindihin ang Sergeant at Arms at dapat rin raw na mapanagot ang NBI sa pagganti nila sa putok. Yan ang ano niya. Anong tawag ko dito? Pa-safe. Play safe ang tanga. Wala kang bayag, Tulfo. Sa totoo lang, play safe ka. You make a stand. Sino ang tama? Yung USAA o ang NBI? Yun ang gusto ng taong bayan na malaman. Hindi yung dapat mapanagot ng NBI, dapat suspindihin si Uplaska. Wala kang stand. Pumagitna ka. Sa bagay, yung kapatid mo, benda lo. Ibenda lang natin yung lo. Ito pa, sabi niya, ang pagpapanatili ng integridad at kredibilidad ng Senado ay dapat manaig higit sa politika at pansariling interest. Ikaw, anong tawag sa'yo? Parang kinain mo lang yung sarili mo. Nasaan ang kredibilidad mo? Ha? Tulfo, wala kang ginagawa dyan. Ha? Nakikinig ka lang sa mga diba-dibati dyan tapos gusto mong pag-usapan ang integridad, kredibilidad, ganon. Pero tahimik ka. Magsama kayo ni Lito Lapid. Ay nako, to mga taong to. Dahil ang Senado bilang isang institusyon ay umiiral upang maglingkod sa sambayan ng Pilipino. Utot mo, Tulfo. Wala ka. Wala kang bayag. So, wala tayong magagawa kung ganyan ang sasabihin niya. Diba? Sa kanya yan So ngayon, pakikinggan natin itong post na ito. Ito yan Hashtag Tulfo, hashtag Rafi Tulfo, hashtag Rafi Tulfo in action, hashtag idol mo sa Senado, hashtag kakampi mo sa Senado, hashtag nanginginig, lumalaban, umaaksyon. Parang walang walang sumapul doon sa hashtag na yun So ngayon, yan po ang post. Yan ang official statement Ito yung official document na in-upload na photo ng sa official Senate of the Philippines Pasay City statement. Ayan. So, ayan marami po ang nagre-react. Karamihan sa nakita ko dito laughing emoji 18.7K. Pero tiningnan ko yan, meron namang nag-like, pero karamihan, laughing emoji. Pinagtawanan si Tulfo ng kanyang sariling followers. Pinagtawanan siya. Ayan, lakihan ko lang para kita ninyo. Ayan, 18.7K po ang nagre-react. Karamihan yan, nandyan pa si Sastrogando. Karamihan yan, tinawanan ang kanyang post. Okay? Pinagtawanan siya. So, basahin natin ngayon ang mga comments, kung sang-ayon ba ang taong bayan. Sabi dito, lus-lus nimo, missing in action ka man, gani. Sabi ni Clifford Altirado Jeffes. Ayan, lus-lus nimo. Wala ka lang palang aksyon, Tulfo, Si Clifford na ang nagsabi, hindi po natin to ikakat, kasi nakikita ko doon sa comment section, bihira ka lang makakita na inappreciate si Tulfo. Lahat doon, binash siya. Galit yung tao sa kanya. Ito pa. Panoorin natin. Ito, mga comments ito ng mamamayan. Ito. Yan Rafi Tulfo yan. May blue check pa yan. Hindi nga ako nakafollow. Rich Charles, sabi ni Rich Charles, oy, nagsalita na ang expert sa away asawa. Tingnan nyo yung laughing emoji, oh. 798 laughing emoji. Parang tumpak na tumpak yung sinabi mo, Rich Charles, ah. Cheng Yating. Ayan, si Cheng Yating. The bend, the law, and the running man. Anong ibig mo sabihin? Hindi naman si Rafi Tulfo ang nagsabi sa Bendalo, yung kapatid niya si Erwin Tulfo. Mga Bendalo ba? Bendalo. Ito pa, pareha kami ng komentaryo dito ni Tito Pineda Canlas. Sabi ni Tito Pineda Canlas, playing safe, no to Tulfo brothers. Ayan. 'Di ba? Dito mo talaga makikita. I hope si Tulfo nakikita rin niya ito na ang taong bayan ayaw na sa'yo. Ayan, oh. Hindi ko man yan kinat. Lahat yan ay in-screenshot ko lang yung first page pa nga yan, eh. Sabi dito ni Uncle J. Gacias, isa pa to, sayang boto, sala sa init, sala sa lamig, kung saan convenient at komportable, doon siya. Ang tawag dyan, Certified Premium Quality Balimbing. Tumpak! Uncle J, tumpak yung sinabi mo. Raquel Cardenas Agairos. Isa ka din kasi nabigyan ng maleta. Wag naman. Wala naman tayong ebidensya dyan na Ma'am Raquel Cardenas, kung nabigyan siya ng maleta, no? Pero, what do I mean? Ano bang ibig kong sabihin? Talagang makikita mo dito sa mga comments ng mga netizens ay mismo, yan, di ba? Mafe-feel mo na ang taong bayan ayaw rin kay Rafi Tulfo. Tapos, itong mga mainstream media na ito, na alam mong mga dilawan, ipinalabas nila na si Rafi Tulfo lumalamang na kay BP Sara sa ratings. Ibi-brainwash nila. Mga mainstream media, ibi-brainwash nila. Kaya nga, ang panawagan ng mga dilawan at mga loyalista, Rafi Tulfo at Leni Robredo tandem. Patay tayong lahat dyan. Anong makukuha natin sa dalawa? Wala talagang silbi itong mga dilawan na ito para sa kasi hindi nila matanggap na number 1 sa rating si BP Sara at mahal ng taong bayan si BP Sara. Itong mga dilawan na ito, kahit wala ng silbi na maging presidente itong Rafi at si Lene, ipipilit talaga nila. Kahit alam nilang dihado ang Pilipinas kapag ito yung magiging mga leader natin. Naku po. Ewan ko na lang talaga, sa totoo lang, no? Bakit may mga dilawan talagang utak-ipis? Utak-ipis. So, ikaw, Rafi Tulfo, huwag ka nang mangarap, okay? Huwag ka nang mangarap. Okay, punta naman tayo dito kay Jimmy Bondoc, no? In-interview siya ni Karen Davila. Tinatanong siya kung ano na ang next move ng kampo ni Senator Bato. At nasaan si Senator Bato ngayon? Okay, eto, panuurin po natin.
All right, joining us this morning is one of the lawyers
Joining
of
us this
Senator
morning?
Ronald Bato de la Rosa, Attorney Jimmy Bondoc. Attorney Bondoc, magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Magandang umaga po, Ma'am Karen.
All right. So what is your reaction to the fact that the Office of the Solicitor General on Friday has already asked the Supreme Court to deny the plea of Senator De La Rosa when it comes to the arrest warrant issued against him? First of all, the OSG has said that De La Rosa is not entitled to an injunctive writ to enjoin his arrest and surrender to the ICC? Attorney.
Ma'am Karen, first of all, I would like to apologize in advance for the limited scope of my answers due to the fact that we're the counsel and that we are right now preparing our answer to their comment. However, it is our just generally it is our considered view that the shooting in the Senate and among other circumstances are supervening events that are more than enough to first of all show the intent of the state to arrest Senator Bato without a lawful warrant. And the discussion of the lawfulness of the ICC warrant is a long and very complicated one. But we believe that in the end, of course, we believe that it will not be an enforceable warrant based on our existing jurisprudence.
Okay, so Attorney, I'll mention some points that the Office of the
Yes.
Solicitor General wrote to the Supreme Court, and at least you
Yes.
can give me your initial reaction. So under the OSG statement, it says that there is no clear and unmistakable right that requires immediate protection, meaning of Senator De La Rosa. Your
Yes.
reaction on that?
Just to clarify, what the OSG is doing is they're doing their job. They are answering one by one the elements of injunctive relief. No, first is the clear and unmistakable right. Second is the invasion of that right, and the third is the prevention of irreparable damage. Alam na alam po ng mga abogado yan. However, even the commentaries that I watched last night were saying that these seem to be very broad strokes issued by the OSG. They're just saying that there's no clear and unmistakable right. But what we are saying is that, yes, there is a clear and unmistakable right being violated here, being invaded upon, because his liberty is at stake. Once the authorities arrest him, there is precedent, as shown by the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. So this is definitely irreparable damage should that arrest occur based on what we feel is an unrecognized warrant in our jurisdiction.
Now, the OSG also stated that Senator De La Rosa failed to establish the urgent necessity of an injunctive writ to prevent any serious damage.
I don't see what again I applaud them for just doing their job, but there is nothing more serious than the damage that the whole nation knows can be inflicted upon our client. This is the most serious. In fact, it damages not only his liberty, but the sovereignty of the Philippines. Karen, I would like to discuss at some point down the road
Yeah, of course.
how the deliberations, the Senate deliberations went during the RA 9851 passage, and it will clearly show that there was no enforcement mechanism instituted within that law, and
Okay.
therefore, okay, go ahead.
No, you're right. I was going to ask you that. So we'll discuss that in a bit. The last point of the OSG is this one, the CIDG subpoena, which had been subsequently recalled,
Yes.
she claims was valid under Republic Act number 10973. And I think the big issue is parliamentary immunity. The OSG said was never meant to be a shield against public accountability. So you're right. They're doing their job, but in effect, they're labeling Bato de la Rosa as a fugitive from justice at this point. So to close the OSG statement, fugitive from justice. Do you agree with that?
Of course, we do not agree that he is a fugitive. The problem here, Karen, and I think most observers have seen this, is the vacillating arguments and the way they conveniently invoke rules when it suits them. And again, I do not blame them. But we have to choose, no? The government has to choose. Are they invoking their own statute, or are they invoking domestic law? Because it's very hard for us to hit a moving target, Karen. No, if they are invoking the domestic law, then our argument goes one way, that there is no surrender mechanism in that law as shown by the deliberations. If they are invoking the Rome Statute, then we will argue that, first of all, jurisdiction issue, and then number two, that they did not go through the rigors of Article 59, which is submitting to competent judicial authority.
Okay, I want to start first with De La Rosa not acting as a fugitive. When you see the videos, De La Rosa's actions himself, running from the NBI on Monday, that chase on the stairwell, up the stairwell, right? Leaving the Senate at 2:30 in the morning with Senator Robin Padilla. He could have left in broad daylight. You don't see these actions as one of a fugitive, attorney?
Ito namang si Karen. Actually, Karen, hindi siya fugitive. Wala ring warrant of arrest na existing. So, anytime na lalabas siya sa Senado, pwede yun. Ito, what kind of question is that? Tatanungin mo pa, 2:30 in the morning. Gusto mo broad daylight siya, lumabas? What if gusto na niyang umuwi 2:30? Natawa nga ako doon sa isang video eh. Buntot ng buntot yung media kay Bato de la Rosa. Sir, bakit ka lumabas sa plenary? Sinabi ni Sir, wala, lumabas ako, tatai ako. Simple. Ditumpak si Bato. Alam nyo, ang mga galaw ni Bato, binibigyan ninyo ng meaning kaagad eh. Yan ang problema ninyo eh. Kasi dilawang-dilawan yung mga ugali ninyo. Alam nyo naman si Karen, Davila, dilawan rin ito eh.
Tumatakbo sa batas, nagtatago sa batas. He was in
No.
hiding for 6 months. Isn't that the
Tuma-
actions of a fugitive?
I have a very respectful question, Ma'am Karen. Tumatakbo po sa ano pong batas? Ano pong batas ang tinatakbuhan ni Senator Bato?
Tinatakbuhan ang NBI, attorney.
Okay.
Kung wala siyang kasalanan at hindi siya fugitive, that act, right? Fight
Yes.
or flight, wasn't that the act of a fugitive?
No, that is the act of self-preservation, Karen, because we all know that the precedent
Ang
has
galing! Ang galing mo! Ang galing ni Jamie Bundok doon, no? That is an act of preservation.
shown that FPRRD, until now, his unlawful arrest is under question, and yet he is languishing somewhere in a foreign country beyond the reach of our laws. And then, Senator, you have to remember that the circumstances surrounding that day there were very public pronouncements from the government that the NBI were not deployed there, that they will not arrest. And yet there were people there announcing themselves to be NBI. So all these circumstances taken together, it can give doubt within the mind of our client na totoo bang NBI ito? Are these rogue NBI agents? Are these other perpetrators from some foreign jurisdiction? And that taken together, sino po naman ang hindi po tatakbo sa isang uncertain group of individuals?
But why leave at 2:30 in the morning?
Paki mo. Paki mo.
Why not? I left at 2 a.m.
So you were with him that
No.
day? Before he
I
left?
was. Prior
You
to
were.
that, I left around 1:30 or 2 a.m., decided to go home, and maybe our client just decided to go home as well. Now, I know that sounds like a coy answer, but even within the legal premise that we are setting, he had every right to go in and
Correct.
to go out of the Senate because there was
That is anytime. Kahit nga siguro, Karen? 12 noon. Kahit anong oras, 24 hours.
no lawful arrest warrant.
I want to ask you, where is he now? I want to start with that. Where is he?
I beg you and the viewers to believe me fully if you are capable that we did not know that he was coming to the Senate, and we did not know that he was leaving. He is a military strategist, Ma'am Karen, and we all know that they they know how to operate these things without involving and risking the safety of their loved ones. And I think I am among his loved ones.
So until today, you have no idea where Bato is, if he's in Davao, did he fly to Davao? But are you sure he did not leave the country?
I am at a loss though, as to how to answer that, but I do assure you of my lack of knowledge as to where his whereabouts, Ma'am Karen. This is very sincere. This is very candid. No one knows except Bato himself and perhaps his family.
No one knows. So from the time he left the Senate, have you been in touch with him? Has he been in touch?
No,
Not at all.
not at all.
Okay, so he's left his legal team to essentially handle all petitions before the Supreme Court. Yun ba yun, attorney?
Yes, and you have to remember that during those times, even before the Senate attack, we had spent hours, countless hours and sleepless nights with him, researching and building our case against this unlawful arrest, Ma'am Karen. We've even gone into international law and the regulations of the Hague Court to show that the arrest warrant was not, if at all existent at that time, because we did not know if it was being served properly. And in a few days, Ma'am Karen, it will be very clear that they did not serve the warrant in accordance with any law, not even the regulations of the Hague Court.
Okay, let's talk about your comparison to the Rome Statute and Philippine laws.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
Philippines was a signatory to the Rome Statute. In
Yes.
effect, the ICC has been described not as a foreign court by Attorney Gilbert Andres, but as a permanent court that handles specifically crimes against humanity. In other
Yes.
words, Philippine courts do not handle crimes against humanity. It
No.
is okay, go ahead.
That is, with due respect to everyone involved, that is completely wrong. If you read the Senate deliberations on the passage of RA 9851, it specifically creates this law to codify the substantive aspect of the Rome Statute, the substantive but not the procedural. Meaning po sa Tagalog po, ginawa na po nilang krimen sa RA 9851 ang crimes against humanity, war crimes, crimes of aggression, and acts of aggression. Ngayon, yan pong mga krimen na yan are now punishable under existing laws in the revised penal code, existing provisions. So malinaw pong sinabi halimbawa nila Senator Gordon nung sila po ay nag-interpellation na kinukuha lang po natin, tatagalogin ko po para makuha po ng lahat. Kinukuha po natin ang definisyon ng lahat ng mga krimen na ito, nilalagay po natin sa domestic law at ito po ay ipapunish natin according to our domestic law. It was very clear in the deliberations. Therefore, hindi po totoo na doon lang sa international court pwedeng litisin ang halimbawa crimes against humanity. The converse is true. That though we adopted the definition of crimes against humanity, dito po ang jurisdiction kung saan siya lilitisin.
Oo. Pero meron ring ambiguity kasi sa surrender and extradition, right? Doon sa
Wala na po.
RA 9851. In Section 17 of that particular Republic Act, the law allows authorities to dispense, tell me if you agree with this, with
Yes.
local investigations if an international tribunal is already handling the case. Because you have
Yes.
Senate President Franklin Drilon, for example, saying he can be arrested without a local court. You have Attorney Gilbert Andres saying the ICC warrant is already legitimate, right? It's enforceable under RA 9851.
I invite the good senator and the other individuals you have mentioned, Ma'am Karen. I invite them. Okay, as lawyers, alam po natin na may tatlo pong rules sa pagbabasa ng batas. Una po yung plain meaning, no? Pero pag hindi po yan makita, pupunta po tayo sa ratio legis, which is yung deliberations, ano po yung intent of the law. And then the third one is yung ut magis valeat quam periat. Tsaka na po yun. nandito na tayo sa second step because you are saying that there is an ambiguity po. May kalabuan po dun sa una. So hindi po plain yung meaning. So we go to the deliberations. At pagdating po sa deliberation, nilinaw po nila Senator Gordon na wala pong enforcement mechanism pang nagagawa. That is why he was saying, we have to remember, Karen, RA 9851 was passed a year before we ratified the Rome Statute. So nung nag-uusap sila, sinasabi nila, i-define na natin yung crimes. Pero intayin po natin na maisali tayo sa Rome Statute para magkaipin itong batas. Yun po yung sinabi dun sa mga usapan. No, so ibig sabihin, ang intention po ng mga mambabatas is i-codify muna natin, i-describe muna natin yung mga crimes, gawin nating krimen dito. Pero para po yan malitis sa ibang bansa, pumirma tayo doon sa treaty. Mag-ratify tayo rather doon sa treaty.
Okay, but go on. Oh, so we did. Okay.
We ratified and then we went out of it.
No, but then that's also debatable because President Duterte did that unilaterally without the Senate.
Okay, this
That's
is what
also
I was...
debatable for the senators. Kumbaga, ang
Yes,
daming
yes.
debatable nga dito sa mga senador, di ba? Sabi ni
Hindi po,
Senator
settled.
Rita Ontiveros is
Oo.
we got out of the ICC unilaterally. President Duterte did it without the Senate's approval.
Well, we all know, nasa Pangilinan versus Cayetano na po yan, but even a plain reading of the Constitution says that there's a 2/3 concurrence of the Senate para pumasok. Yung paglabas po, wala. Ibig sabihin, ang chief architect...
It's silent. It's
Yes,
silent.
it is silent. So we cannot distinguish what the law does not distinguish. Pero po, pampasarap lang po ng usapan, Ma'am Karen. Kung sakali pong tayo po ay nasa Rome Statute pa rin, which is against our argument, yun na nga po ang sinasabi natin. Kung nandun tayo, i-invoke natin yung surrender, extradition, and other mechanisms nung Rome Statute. Article 59 tayo, plus what is often overlooked are the regulations of the court. Meron po silang set of rules para po sa batas natin, 'di ba, may batas tapos may IRR implementing rules. Meron din po silang regulations of the court. The key phrase here, Ma'am Karen, is yung arrest warrant kailangan ng personal service. Nakalagay po yan sa regulation 31.
Okay, that's one. Number two is the validation of a local court. So I want to ask you about this. Because Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano in his press conference said that all they are waiting for is for a local court to validate the ICC warrant and then they will recognize the arrest warrant if a local court validates it. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, nung panahon po ba ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, nagkaroon kasi ng ICC warrant and then nagkaroon ng red notice sa Interpol, tama?
Yes.
Dumaan ba yun sa isang regional trial court din? Did a local court, did the government bring that to a local court to validate it before Duterte was sent to The Hague?
You have to remember, Ma'am Karen, that this petition that is filed is not just Bato versus the government. This is Duterte, Bato versus the government. So ibig sabihin po, yun na nga, you are arguing in our favor, Ma'am Karen. That ang sinasabi
I'm not
namin,
arguing. I'm asking questions
sorry.
for
You are
clarity purposes. Yeah.
You are positing an argument in favor of our argument because ang sinasabi nga namin is mula pa sa panahon ni Pangulong Duterte and his extraordinary rendition, which is a fancy term for international kidnapping, no, mali na po yung proseso na nasunod. Kaya nga po what we're fighting for here is na hindi po maulit yung alam na nating capacity na gawin ng administrasyon. And we are not doing this as politicians, Ma'am Karen. Please, I hope your viewers believe that much, no? Because we are trying to protect our sovereign nature, no, yung Pilipinas, na hindi po natin pwedeng i-short circuit yung mga korte dahil kaya nga po tayo may Korte Suprema to ensure that these processes are not completely political only. Kasi po, ang magiging mangyayari niyan sa hinaharap kapag meron lang kalaban yung gobyerno, short circuit nila yung korte at dadalhin na lang kahit sino pong kalaban sa international court, which will be worse than martial law.
So at this point, if the government is taking action to bring this
Yes.
to a local court. I mean, right now you have the Solicitor General already
Yes.
arguing, right? For the at the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Kapag ang tanong ko, kapag vinalidate na ito ng local court, yung warrant, would you already then consider that there is an arrest warrant against Bato?
Sa amin nga po, no, we have to choose what argument they're really sticking to, Ma'am Karen. Are they trying to validate, as your term goes, no, a foreign warrant, or are they trying to just secure a local warrant here in our local courts for a local charge based on RA 9851? Hindi po namin kasi alam kung ano yung gusto nilang sundin na landas, and it doesn't give us a clear recourse, no? Sa amin po kasi, we have maintained that the ICC has no jurisdiction, not even over President Duterte. This has done us irreparable harm as a nation. So I think kung gusto talaga po nilang hulihin si Bato and to extract accountability, iisa lang po ang hinihingi namin. Kasuhan niyo po dito po sa ating domestic courts. We do not know why they do not want to resort to local court processes. They have no reason to doubt the Supreme Court or our local judicial system. So, bakit po ba hindi kasuhan si Bato dito?
A verification of a local court is enough for you kahit walang kaso si Bato sa Pilipinas. Kasi kinasuhan na siya doon. But if a local court verifies that particular arrest warrant, that is enough? Do you recognize as a lawyer that that's already a valid warrant?
Well, that would then be less gray, no? Kasi po,
Okay.
at least by that point they would have followed the laws that they are invoking. So, ibig sabihin, at least sumusunod na sila sa proseso. But our job as lawyers, Ma'am Karen, and even in my personal belief, we will still attack the issue of jurisdiction. We are duty bound to, no? Not just for Bato but for our country. However, if push comes to shove at kailangan na siyang i-surrender because the entire government mechanism has resorted to all the applicable laws and yung sa Article 59, then syempre we would advise our client already. But sana po, bigyan din po siya ng assurance ng gobyerno na hindi po siya maduduterte. Kasi po, pag ginawa po nila yun, let's say gumawa sila ng kahit anong warrant, local or foreign, tapos without resorting to Article 59, yung ihaharap siya sa korte, bibigyan siya ng a few days to answer, paano po pag shinip out siya bigla ulit, katulad ng ginawa, then that is irreparable damage to our country, Ma'am Karen.
And I think my last one is just recently is the ICC has mentioned already specifically other names, right? PNP officials. But the
Yes.
most famous one being is also Senator Bongo.
Senator Bongo.
Bongo. So there is a possibility that an arrest warrant may be issued by the ICC against
Yes.
maybe 2 or 3 other individuals, including Senator Bongo. Has Senator Bongo, I'm curious, reached out to, do you have one legal team? Have you
No.
met about this? No?
No, not at all. Full disclosure, we are friends, of course, but we have no legal engagement. But I think because of President Duterte's rendition and then now the pending arrest of Senator Bato, the same arguments would prosper in light of those supervening events, no, Ma'am Karen? Kasi iisa lang po talaga yung model na ginagamit po ng ICC at ng administrasyon. Iisa po yung model, so iisa lang din po yung dapat isagot doon, which is our constitution must prevail. At yung mga sinasabi po ng iba, I take serious legal offense at the suggestion that the constitution is suspended under certain conditions. The constitution po is never suspended. The Bill of Rights is never suspended.
Okay. On that note, I want to thank you so much, Attorney Jimmy Bondoc, for joining me today.
So, ayan na. So, grabe, no? Yung mga legal explanation ni Jimmy Bondoc, no? Malinaw na lahat ng mga ginagawa ng administrasyon at ang ICC sa kay FPRRD at Senator Bato de la Rosa ay talagang marami pong mga sablay sa patungkol po sa proseso. Okay? So kayo, mga audience ko dito sa Donmar TV, paki-comment, paki-react sa inyong opinion at babasahin natin yan sa comment section. No? Don't forget, like and share this video at sa mga hindi pa nakasubscribe, subscribe na po kayo. Okay? See you in my next video. Have a great day. Have a great night. God bless po sa ating lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas and God save the Philippines. Bye-bye.